Mic check, mic check. What's kicking, family? I'm glad you've clicked in so I can check in with you. I'm Mr. Batch, and I'm a member of the BBC. Yes, the Big Blue Commission. The G-Men. The New York Football Giants. Go Big Blue. Now, it's been a whirlwind week for my beloved Big Blue. And as all you Giant faithful out there have witnessed firsthand, man, ever since the debacle of last weekend, things have been kind of hectic around Giant camp. And rightfully so. You know, everything kind of like, you know, you got to talk about this because you got to get this out in the forefront and then behind you. And that's what the Giants did this week. The Giants were able to put all this behind them. Coughlin has had them circle the wagons, and their mantra is to stick together. They got to fight for that man beside them. They got to fight for their brothers. And we're going to have a couple of people out. Corey Webster. Also, Jacqueline Williams might be out. We need him. He's a good cover linebacker. I like his speed, like his athleticism out there. But it does not fill the void of the shortcomings of the talent on this team. One of the sportscasters this week had pointed out that some blame should go to Jerry Reese. Now, fellow BBCer Tough, my man Truth Under Fire, had pointed that out in one of his videos, speaking about how Reese should take somewhat of a hit on this. And what he spoke about, the sportscaster had said was right, because Jerry Reese had went on the cheap and not re-signing some of the pieces from last year. Now everybody's on the same page. Antrell Roll did his thing on his weekly spot, and you know, blew up. And Justin Tuck said what he had to say, and Eli didn't have to mince words with Hakeem Nicks. They're all on the same page. So Giant camp is all on the same page. Now, when I referred to the media firestorm, I wasn't kidding, because as you know, instantly the news will be out there. You know, just like how JPP had went on his Twitter account and was lambasting those Giant fans that was talking trash about them. I heard on the radio last night somebody call up talking about they want Coughlin's head. Well, I got to give him some sort of a pass, because he's brought us 2 chips within the last 10 years. Now, this media thing blew up really big when in yesterday's daily newspaper I was reading the Bob Raceman column, and he was talking about the brouhaha around what Carl Banks had said. And a couple of people had attributed Carl Banks to saying that the Giants had quit. No, he had said fight. And I had also had said in my video that I had referred to a couple of statements from Banks talking about the Giants not showing enough fight in that contest. And the article goes on to say that in 2 instances, there was Mike Francesa had Eli on his show. I didn't listen to the show. I normally listen. I was couldn't get the radio on and get to listen to the show. From what I've read, Francesa had posed a question to Eli in the context that Banks had said quit. Banks was listening to the program, called up the show, told the producer that's not what he said. The producer said, "We've got your transcripts. We'll go over it." And there was not a retraction done by Mike Francesa. Now, talk about media firestorm. I don't know what Francesa's motive was when he had Eli on. As you know, Francesa had a little falling out with beloved the tuna Bill Parcells for a minute, and they just recently patched that over. I'm wondering if it stemmed from something in the past between Francesa and Parcells, but dealing with Francesa now, and him misquoting Carl Banks in an interview with Eli, I think is dead wrong. And that kind of like stirs the pot. See, that's where it gets into that realm of when the media gets a couple of things wrong, and they want to kind of like stir a reaction from you. That's right. And they want to stir a reaction from you. Then there was reported in that same article in the paper that during a Coughlin interview, somebody had posed the question to Tom Coughlin about Banks stating that the Giants quit. And Banks found out about that one too, got in touch with that reporter, and then the reporter did a retraction by apologizing to Banks via Twitter. See, now, this day and age is the age of got you. It's the speed of enter. You hit that enter button, ain't no pulling back. You know how like when that quarterback throws that ball out in the flats and sees that linebacker jumped the route, and he wishes he had a string to pull it back? Not in today's media. Once it's out, it's out. And damage control, you better be damn well good at it. But in this case, the reporter, I wish I had the paper here, I would give you the reporter's name, who had tweeted an apology to Banks. Now that one was cleaned up. The other one wasn't. Banks would know when there's a quit. You know, he played the game. He was in the trenches. I would, take his word for it a hell of a lot more than your sports prognosticator. Especially, would I be harsh in saying, especially if he didn't at least play any kind of sports, know what it's like to be in some sort of competition? Because for the Giants to become successful, and they will win this game, they have to have short-term memory. They have to have a short-term memory about what happened last week, and they've got to move forward. That's the only way you can become successful in professional sports. That's the highest level of athleticism when you play pro sports and getting paid to play. You got to have a short-term memory, because if you would dwell on everything that happened, all your biggest and grandest failures happened, you would be eaten alive, and you wouldn't last too long in any league, even if it was tiddlywinks. Well, that's my view on the media firestorm surrounding Big Blue. And so with that being said, I'm out of here like I stole some. Peace. G-Man.